What is up, everybody? I am the Legendary Commander, and welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3. In this video, we're going to talk about why Shove is the most important bonus action skill in the game. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wasn't your last video Jump is the most important, best skill of the game? It was, and it still is, and so is this. Look, I don't make the rules, that's just how it is. So let's get into it. So why is Shove the most important skill of the game? Well, it's very simple, because Shove allows you to push enemies back. Well, that doesn't sound too great, does it? You can push people back? Oh well. Now, regular D&D might not be so helpful with this, as most of the time your DM probably has these really flat environments where there isn't a lot of high places and stuff to shove people off. But Baldur's Gate 3, at least so far, has seemed to have been exactly that. Lots of high places all the time where I can shove people off. So you probably think you know where I'm going with this. We're going to shove a lot of people off high places. And you're absolutely right. But not always just that. But pretty much shoving people off high places. Now, there are a lot of ways to use shove. Unfortunately, some of those are very difficult to employ on a whim, as the situation needs to arise for you to use it. I'll be talking about those situations, but you will not see those in this video. I will start off by the first thing, and the best thing about Shove is that it's always available after you pick up one of your allies. Not only for the person who picked up the ally, but the ally who has now been picked up will be able to use Shove. This is important when your characters share the same turn. That means they're interchangeable in that moment. You can fire an arrow from one and then fire an arrow from another. It doesn't matter which goes first. If you have to use one of those characters to go pick up the other one, they both lose their action, one for picking somebody up, while the other one loses it just standing up. However, with both of them having a shove, that means they can both maybe shove off two enemies off of a high place, or in some cases just shove people back. An example of this might actually be, you just picked up your character and you want them to get out of there because they're too weak to be continuing the fight. So you take one or maybe even both of your characters and shove some opponents back. They don't get knocked off anything, they just get shoved back. Well, now they're out of engagement range, so now they don't take an attack of opportunity in the back trying to run away. Now there is an opportunity for this to fail. You could attempt to shove them back, have one success and one failure, or maybe even two failures. You could also have the effect, just the same from your sword or your bow, not being able to hit the target. And much worse, maybe the sword or bow won't kill the target, so the opponent still stands there. So shoving can be a great option, and honestly an option I suggest to take first before you even start fighting back. This also lets you redistribute your damage. You can take into account that if you shove this guy off, you can kill the guy to your left just by hitting him with your mace. And since it's not your main action, if it fails, you're still capable of hitting the other guy in the face if it was more important to get rid of him. This is on the most basic level. Now let me give you a scenario where shove will be more helpful. This is probably one of the more basic situations you might be involved in. You have a enemy, be it melee or even an archer, up in your general vicinity, while the mage for some reason hasn't come up and has decided to stay down at the bottom. He's lobbing sleep spells, putting your characters to sleep, which is getting really annoying and making the situation very tough. Your characters are also near death, and one's already asleep. What do? The archer is up top and getting ready for his turn. Meanwhile, if you stop him, the mage is going to kill you. However, you have the ability to either kill the mage or the archer, but you can't kill both. That might not entirely be true. So what we can do is something more along the lines of this. We will run up and push the archer off the side. Hopefully we push him into a more advantageous position where he either just doesn't fall down, but he falls down and takes damage. Maybe even enough to kill him. But let's say that didn't happen. Let's say he just fell and hurt himself. But he happened to be on the far side now and have no shot available. This would be the next best situation. Now he'd have to run around. He may also be prone, which means his movement speed will be cut in half, meaning he is not going to be able to go as far this way. He may not be able to get into an advantageous position where he can get a shot, and this is much better than, well, him being able to shoot you. But let's take it a step further. He did not hurt himself. He did not fall into a position where he was not able to be in an advantageous position. In fact, he was able to stand directly up and still shoot at you. However, he did fall onto lower ground. Having the high ground gives you at least an advantage and him a disadvantage when engaging him further. This means at the very least, if he were to take a shot on his turn, without moving and getting back up into the advantageous position, he will not be able to hit you as effectively, which means he may miss and is more likely to miss from this position. Okay, so we have dealt with the archer in probably the least effective means, but still effective enough that the shove was actually useful. You'll notice that when you made your shove, it did not actually take your action. In fact, it used your bonus action. You can't jump or anything like that. Can't take a potion. However, you can still fire your bow. The mage down there is fairly weak. One good shot will kill him. You have advantage on your hit, so you take that roll, and you roll high enough to kill him. Now you have taken care of the mage, and now you just have to deal with the archer. So what happens is the next turn rolls around, and the archer now fires at you, and he misses because his disadvantage. You're still alive and kicking. It is your move now, and you fire down on him. You have advantage. You kill him with this arrow shot. Combat is over now, and you can rescue your party. By using your shove ability, you took control of the battlefield and changed how the environment was. Had you chosen to jump and disengage and go rescue your party member, for example, maybe what would have happened is when you picked up your other partner, the mage would have casted a area of effect attack and killed you both, or he'd have thrown a firebolt which would have possibly killed one of you, and then the archer would have had his turn and he would have shot you and possibly killed you, leaving the result to be a very bad situation where you are now game over. Rather than that happening, while it may have taken 2 turns to kill both of them, or maybe it only took 1 turn because you were successful in the kill by shoving the guy off, you were able to change the combat situation where you were no longer in that amount of danger, and you successfully won the conflict. So guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, as that is always one of the main points of the video. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure to tell your friends.
And leave a comment, just not a nasty one. Because remember, that's big talk for a man in fireball range.
Y'all take care, and I'll catch you next time.